In the post-war boom of the 1950s, families found comfort and creativity in the simplest of meals. With the rise of convenience foods and new flavors, sandwiches became a weekly staple, quick to make, but full of heart. Today, let's take a trip back in time and rediscover the forgotten sandwiches that graced lunch tables across America, bringing families together one bite at a time. The Elvis sandwich.
So today I'm going to be making the Fool's Gold sandwich.
The Elvis sandwich isn't just a tribute to the king of rock and roll. It's a bold, decadent Kiar-Ishin that's as memorable as his music. Imagine this: thick slices of white bread, slathered with creamy peanut butter, layered with sweet, ripe banana slices, and topped off with crispy bacon. Now, picture this masterpiece buttered and grilled until the bread is golden and crunchy, and the cheese, yes, cheese, is melting inside. The result? A sweet, salty, and savory combo that's as over the top as one of Elvis's performances. The Elvis sandwich, though it became a popular legend in the years after the King's rise to fame, was said to be one of his favorite guilty pleasures. Whether it was a late-night snack between concerts or a way to unwind at Graceland, this sandwich was his go-to indulgence. And why not? The combination of peanut butter, bananas, and crispy bacon is a delightful roller coaster of flavors, each bite balancing richness, saltiness, and a bit of sweetness. In the 1950s, Elvis wasn't the only one who craved this sandwich. Many families, especially those wanting something a little extra special, would whip up this indulgence when they needed to satisfy both hunger and a love for comfort food. It was often made for special occasions, or just on a whim when the urge for something indulgent struck. And though it was a bit of a splurge, it quickly became a fun, memorable part of weekly meals for some families, one that was passed around in the glow of the kitchen light or enjoyed in front of the TV, just like the king himself might have done. To make it, start by generously spreading peanut butter on 2 slices of your favorite white bread. Next, slice a ripe banana into rounds and layer them over the peanut butter. Add crispy bacon to complete the savory element, then press the slices together to form the sandwich. Butter the outside of the bread, giving it a golden, crispy finish, and grill the whole thing until the sandwich is perfectly toasted on both sides. For the full Elvis experience, you could even throw in a slice of melted cheese, because why not? Elvis didn't hold back on flavor, and neither should you. It's an unforgettable creation that brings the flavor of the 1950s right into your kitchen, proving that sometimes indulgence is worth every bite. The Wimpy. Before the Sloppy Joe took over the hearts and lunch trays of America, there was the Wimpy, a lesser-known but equally beloved sandwich of the 1950s. Inspired by the character Wimpy from the Popeye cartoons, this sandwich was a little more refined and less messy than its more famous counterpart, but just as satisfying. Ground beef simmered in a tangy, slightly sweet sauce. The Wimpy was the go-to sandwich for busy families, offering an easy, tasty way to feed a crowd. It was hearty, filling, and a perfect blend of savory and sweet. Unlike the Sloppy Joe, which was often drowning in sauce, the Wimpy had a thicker, less runny consistency, making it easier to eat without a huge mess. The flavors were brightened with a bit of mustard, ketchup, and Worcestershire sauce, ingredients that provided a nice balance of tang and depth. A few pickle slices brought an extra crunch, cutting through the richness of the beef and sauce, and transforming the sandwich into a balanced bite that was both simple and flavorful. This sandwich quickly became a weekly favorite for families looking for a budget-friendly dinner that didn't skimp on flavor. The Wimpy was easy to prepare and even easier to enjoy. Slather it on a soft hamburger bun, and you had a meal that could be served at any occasion, from a casual weeknight dinner to a family picnic. To make your own Wimpy, start by browning a pound of ground beef in a skillet. Once the meat is cooked through, drain off any excess fat and add in ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Let it all simmer together until it thickens into a hearty, rich mixture. Spoon the beef onto a fresh hamburger bun, top with a few pickles for crunch, and press down gently to keep everything in place. The Wimpy is the perfect example of how simple ingredients, when combined just right, can create a sandwich that's both satisfying and unforgettable. Whether you're reminiscing about the past or trying it for the first time, this humble, hearty treat offers a taste of the 1950s that's worth bringing back. The tuna melt. The tuna melt, a classic comfort food, became a beloved fixture in American kitchens during the 1950s. It's one of those sandwiches that's both humble and indulgent, simple yet satisfying. Imagine creamy tuna salad made from canned tuna, mayonnaise, and a touch of relish or celery, tucked between slices of soft, buttery bread and then grilled to golden perfection. The pièce de résistance, a generous layer of melty cheese, usually Swiss or cheddar, oozing out from between the crispy, golden slices of bread. It's the perfect combination of creamy, cheesy, and savory. Back in the 1950s, the tuna melt wasn't just about eating, it was about comfort. For busy families, it was an easy meal to throw together when time was short and the kids were hungry. Canned tuna, which was a pantry staple at the time, was inexpensive and accessible, making it a practical choice. Yet, with the addition of cheese and the simple act of grilling it, the tuna melt elevated canned tuna into something indulgent, warm, and totally satisfying. In diners across America, the tuna melt was often served with a side of crispy fries or a small salad, making it a hearty lunch or dinner. The combination of the tuna salad's creaminess and the gooey cheese melting inside the sandwich created a bite that was both comforting and comforting to the soul. It was the kind of sandwich you'd order when you wanted something filling, but didn't want to fuss with complicated ingredients. To make your own tuna melt, start by mixing canned tuna with mayonnaise and any extra ingredients you like. Diced celery, onion, or a dash of lemon juice can brighten it up. Spread the tuna salad generously onto a slice of bread and top it with a slice of cheese. Swiss is the classic choice, but cheddar works beautifully too. Then, butter the outside of the sandwich and grill it on a hot pan until both sides are golden and the cheese is perfectly melted. For an extra twist, you can even toast the bread lightly before assembling the sandwich to give it an extra crispy crunch. Simple, comforting, and absolutely delicious, the tuna melt is a timeless treat that takes you right back to the cozy kitchens of the 1950s. The club sandwich. The club sandwich, a towering icon of 1950s dining, is the epitome of what we love about a good sandwich. Layers upon layers of flavor, texture, and a bit of indulgence. This triple-decker creation was a frequent star in diners, lunch counters, and home kitchens alike, representing the ideal of mid-century comfort food. It's easy to see why. It's a hearty sandwich that combines the best of everything: tender turkey or chicken, crispy bacon, fresh lettuce, juicy tomato, and a slather of creamy mayo, all stacked between 3 slices of lightly toasted bread. What made the club sandwich truly special wasn't just its ingredients, but its balance. The crispy bacon provided a salty crunch, the turkey or chicken offered a satisfying protein base, and the vegetables brought freshness and color to each bite. The mayo, as simple as it may be, tied everything together with a creamy richness that kept the sandwich from feeling dry. And, of course, the 3 slices of toast created a beautiful structure that held all of the ingredients together without falling apart. It was a perfect meal in itself, something that could satisfy both a lunch crowd and a hungry family. The club became a go-to for many during the 1950s, often showing up in diners or as a special lunch treat. It was the kind of sandwich you'd eat when you wanted something substantial, but still simple and approachable. The rich layers of flavor weren't fussy. They were comforting and familiar, making the club sandwich a popular choice in every setting, from casual lunches to more formal gatherings. And as a bonus, it was filling enough to be considered a whole meal, often served with crispy fries or a dill pickle on the side. To make your own club sandwich, start by toasting 3 slices of your favorite bread until golden brown. Layer slices of tender turkey or chicken, crispy bacon, fresh lettuce, and tomato onto 2 slices of bread. Spread a little mayo on each slice to keep things moist. Stack the layers, top with the 3rd slice of bread, and cut the sandwich into quarters. Secure each quarter with a toothpick to keep it together, because a sandwich this stacked deserves to be presented with a little flair. Whether you're recreating it for the first time or revisiting a childhood favorite, the club sandwich is an unforgettable part of 1950s food history, and it's still as satisfying today as it was back then. The Clubhouse King Classic Club Sandwich. Ah, the club sandwich. It's one of those dishes that you didn't just eat, you experienced. Served in diners, at fancy hotels, and even at home on a Sunday afternoon, the club sandwich was a symbol of sophistication and a true showstopper. If there was one sandwich that made you feel like you were dining in style, it was the club. Stacked high with layers of turkey, crispy bacon, fresh lettuce, and juicy tomato, this sandwich could almost double as a meal for 2. And let's not forget the toothpick holding it all together like a miniature flag. How very 1950s. The 1950s were a time of rapid growth and prosperity, with the rise of fast food chains and diner culture. The club sandwich became the go-to sandwich for those looking for something hearty, a bit fancy, and above all, satisfying. Its multi-layered construction was not just for show, it was a practical solution for using leftover roasted turkey, a meal that was often served at the family table in large quantities during festive times. The club was the clever way to make a turkey last all week. If you've ever had a great club sandwich, you know the kind of satisfaction that comes from that first bite, the crunch of bacon, the freshness of tomato, and that creamy layer of mayo. It's a sandwich with layers of history, both in flavor and culture. The ingredients list is surprisingly simple, but it's all about balance. You'll need some toasted white or whole wheat bread. You can't go wrong with a hearty toast. Slices of turkey, or chicken if that's what you have on hand. Crispy bacon, a few leaves of fresh lettuce, a few slices of ripe tomato, and mayonnaise to bind it all together. If you want to get extra fancy, you could add a slice of Swiss or cheddar cheese, but the classic doesn't need it. Begin by toasting your bread to a golden perfection. Then, spread a thin layer of mayonnaise on each slice. Start stacking. First, lay down your turkey, followed by the crispy bacon, and then the tomato and lettuce. Place your second slice of toasted bread on top, and repeat the layers. Add the final slice of bread and cut it into quarters. You can secure each quarter with a toothpick to give it that classic diner feel. Now, sit back and admire your handiwork, because you've just created a sandwich fit for royalty. The quick lunch egg salad supreme. Egg salad, the unsung hero of the humble lunch. It's the sandwich that you could whip up in no time, yet always felt satisfying enough to fill you up after a long day of school or work. In the 1950s, when convenience was key but families still wanted something homemade, egg salad became a go-to dish. It was simple, affordable, and packed with protein, making it perfect for a quick and filling lunch. This version, the Egg Salad Supreme, takes that basic classic to a whole new level of creamy, zesty goodness. If you've never had egg salad piled high on a soft slice of bread with just the right balance of tang and richness, then you're in for a treat. In the post-war years, the idea of quick meals that didn't require hours of preparation was becoming essential, but people still wanted meals that felt homemade and wholesome. Eggs, of course, were a pantry staple. They were cheap, easy to store, and offered endless possibilities. The egg salad sandwich quickly became a lunchbox favorite, and for good reason. You could make it in a flash, and its versatility meant you could adjust the flavors to suit whatever you had on hand. The ingredients for the Egg Salad Supreme are simple, but there's an art to getting that perfect creamy texture. You'll need a few hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, the creamier the better, a little mustard for a tangy bite, and finely chopped celery and onions to add crunch and a touch of sweetness. A pinch of salt and pepper to taste, and a squeeze of lemon juice will brighten it all up. Some might even add a dash of paprika or a little pickle relish to bring it to life. For the bread, a soft, fresh white or whole wheat loaf works best. Something that can hold all that creamy goodness without falling apart. Start by peeling and mashing your hard-boiled eggs in a bowl. Then stir in the mayo, mustard, celery, onions, salt, pepper, and a splash of lemon juice. Mix everything together until smooth and creamy. Spread it generously on your bread, cut it into halves or quarters, and take a bite. It's a sandwich that tastes like home, comforting, easy, and always a little nostalgic. The fancy fried chicken sandwich. When it comes to indulgence, the fried chicken sandwich of the 1950s was a showstopper. The perfect balance of crispy, juicy, and savory, it brought comfort and decadence to the table in a way few other sandwiches could. At a time when fried chicken was already a Southern staple, it was only natural that this crispy wonder would find its way between slices of soft bread. Whether served as a quick lunch or part of a hearty dinner, the fried chicken sandwich was the epitome of a meal that didn't hold back. In the 1950s, fried chicken was more than just a weekend treat. It was a symbol of home-cooked goodness. Families would often gather around the dinner table, and on those occasions, fried chicken was almost guaranteed to be the star. As the world moved toward faster meals and new culinary innovations, the fried chicken sandwich became a practical, portable way to enjoy the same satisfying flavors without the need for a formal sit-down meal. The crispy crunch of golden brown chicken, nestled inside a soft, pillowy bun, became a new favorite. For many, it wasn't just a sandwich, it was comfort on a plate. To make a fried chicken sandwich, you don't need anything too complicated. The key is in the crispy coating and the tender, juicy chicken beneath. You'll need chicken breasts or thighs. Boneless, skinless works best for sandwiches. Flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs for coating. Season your flour with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a touch of paprika for that extra warmth. After dipping the chicken in the egg wash, coat it in the seasoned flour, pressing it in well to create that perfect crust. Fry the chicken in hot oil until golden and crispy. For the sandwich itself, a soft hamburger bun or a toasted brioche roll works wonderfully. Spread a little mayonnaise or mustard on the bun for extra flavor, then pile on that crispy chicken. If you're feeling fancy, add a few pickle slices for a touch of tartness or some lettuce for crunch. The result is a sandwich that's simple but unbelievably satisfying. The crispy chicken, the softness of the bun, and the rich mayo come together in a perfect bite. It's a nostalgic indulgence that never fails to bring back memories of simpler times. The sweet and savory, ham and pineapple delight, The ham and pineapple sandwich is one of those surprisingly delightful combinations that takes you back to the 1950s, when it seemed like everyone was discovering new ways to mix sweet and savory. It's a sandwich that might sound a bit unusual at first, but once you take a bite, you'll understand why it became a regular on many dinner tables during this vibrant decade. This combo of salty ham and sweet pineapple was a perfect example of the era's culinary innovation, where creativity in the kitchen wasn't just encouraged, it was expected. In the 1950s, canned goods were all the rage, and they made cooking easier and faster for busy families. Pineapple, often available in convenient pre-sliced cans, became a surprising yet beloved addition to both savory and sweet dishes. Ham, a common meat for sandwiches and holiday meals, paired so naturally with the tropical sweetness of pineapple. Together, they created a balance that felt fresh and satisfying, a little unexpected, and completely delicious. If you ever wondered why pineapple on pizza became so popular, this sandwich might offer some clues. It was one of the first big culinary risks to combine fruit with something savory, and it paid off in spades. To make the ham and pineapple delight, you don't need much, just a few key ingredients that complement each other in perfect harmony. Start with slices of good quality ham, the kind that's thick enough to hold up to the sweetness of the pineapple. The pineapple should be canned, of course, and cut into rings. You'll also need mayonnaise for creaminess, some lettuce for crunch, and soft sandwich bread. A little Dijon mustard can also add a nice tang if you want to give the sandwich a bit more of a kick. Begin by spreading a layer of mayo on your bread, then layer a slice or two of ham, followed by a ring of pineapple. Add a few leaves of lettuce for texture, and top with a little more mayo before closing the sandwich. For a true 50s experience, you can even grill it lightly to warm everything through and melt the flavors together. Each bite is a delightful balance of savory ham and the juicy sweetness of pineapple, a combination that became a weekly favorite in households across America. The deluxe tuna salad on rye. If there's one sandwich that defined lunch hour in the 1950s, it was the tuna salad on rye. Simple, yet elevated with the rich flavor of rye bread, this sandwich became a beloved choice for its balance of hearty and fresh. It's one of those sandwiches that just feels like comfort, with the smoothness of the tuna salad contrasting perfectly against the slightly tangy, earthy flavor of the rye. A classic example of how the 50s took something simple and turned it into something special, the tuna salad on rye was the lunchbox hero that never disappointed. By the 1950s, canned tuna was a pantry staple in American households. It was affordable, accessible, and could be transformed into endless variations of satisfying meals. Tuna salad, with its creamy mayonnaise base and crunchy bits of celery and onion, became the go-to for quick, filling lunches. Rye bread, with its distinctive flavor and dense texture, was the perfect companion for this creamy salad, adding an extra depth to the flavor. Rye bread wasn't just a practical choice. It was a little bit more sophisticated than plain white bread, making the sandwich feel like an elevated treat, even though it was simple enough for everyday enjoyment. To make a tuna salad on rye, you'll need a can of tuna packed in oil or water, depending on your preference. Drain the tuna, then flake it with a fork and mix it with mayonnaise to your desired creaminess. For crunch, finely chop a stalk of celery and a small onion and stir them in for added texture. A squeeze of lemon juice, a pinch of salt, and a dash of pepper give the tuna salad its fresh, zesty flavor. If you like a little kick, a spoonful of Dijon mustard or relish can also be added. The beauty of this sandwich lies in its flexibility, allowing you to adjust the flavors to your taste. Spread the tuna salad generously onto slices of toasted rye bread. If you want to get extra fancy, you can add a layer of lettuce or tomato, but the sandwich is perfect just as it is. Cut the sandwich into halves or quarters, and you've got a satisfying, flavor-packed meal that's both nostalgic and timeless. The zesty French dip sandwich. There are sandwiches, and then there's the French dip sandwich. This isn't just any sandwich. It's a full experience. Imagine biting into a warm, tender pile of thinly sliced roast beef tucked inside a soft, crusty roll, with the added bonus of dipping it into a rich, flavorful au jus. The French dip is the kind of sandwich that feels like it should be enjoyed in a cozy diner with the hum of conversation and the clink of coffee cups in the background. A beloved creation of the 1950s, it was a go-to for those craving something hearty and flavorful with just the right amount of savory sophistication. The French dip's roots trace back to Los Angeles, where the sandwich was first created in the early 20th century, but it became a staple of American diners by the 50s. It was a genius creation, combining the tender roast beef sandwich with the exciting twist of dipping it into beef broth, au jus, which gave each bite an extra layer of richness. The dipping sauce, which was initially considered considered an afterthought, quickly became an essential part of the experience. It added a touch of warmth and moisture that perfectly complemented the beef, while making the sandwich feel like more than just a quick lunch. It was a moment of indulgence. Making a French dip sandwich starts with good quality roast beef. If you have leftover roast beef from a Sunday dinner, this is the perfect way to use it. But thinly sliced deli roast beef will work just as well. You'll also need a sturdy yet soft French roll or baguette, something that can hold up to the dipping without falling apart. The key to the au jus is simplicity. Simmer beef broth with a bit of Worcestershire sauce, garlic, and a touch of black pepper. This creates a savory dip that's perfect for soaking the sandwich. To assemble, warm your roast beef and load it onto the roll. Serve with a small bowl of the warm au jus on the side, allowing you to dip each bite. The combination of savory beef, crispy bread, and the rich, aromatic dipping sauce makes every bite a little piece of comfort. The crispy crunch fried bologna sandwich. There's something about a fried bologna sandwich that feels like a little piece of Americana. Simple, humble, and undeniably delicious, this sandwich was a go-to for many families in the 1950s when they were looking for an affordable, quick, and satisfying meal. Bologna, often a staple in fridges across the country, was the unsung hero of the lunch table. And when you threw it in a hot skillet, crisped it up, and tucked it inside a soft, pillowy bun, it became something truly special. The fried bologna sandwich was the kind of comfort food that didn't need to be fancy to make you feel at home. Bologna, that ubiquitous processed meat, had been around for decades, but in the 50s, it was a star player in the kitchen. With its mild, slightly smoky flavor and affordability, it was perfect for families looking to feed a crowd on a budget. Frying bologna wasn't just a way to cook it, it was the secret to transforming it into something crispy on the outside, but still juicy and tender inside. The sizzle as it hit the hot pan, the way it curled at the edges into perfect crispy edges, there was something deeply satisfying about it. Plus, when paired with mustard, mayo, and fresh bread, it was a sandwich that left you craving more. To make a fried bologna sandwich, you'll need a few basic ingredients. The star is, of course, the bologna itself, thick slices of the classic deli meat. You'll want a good white sandwich bread, soft and fresh, with just the right amount of thickness to support the crispy bologna. Mayo and mustard are the standard condiments, but if you want to go all out, you can add some pickles or a slice of cheese to make it extra indulgent. Start by heating a skillet over medium heat and adding a little butter. Slice your bologna into thick pieces and fry them until the edges get crispy and brown, with a little curl on the sides. Meanwhile, toast your bread lightly. Spread mayo and mustard on each slice, then pile the fried bologna onto the bread. You can even top it off with a slice of cheese if you like, but honestly, the crispy bologna alone is enough to steal the show. The gravy train hot brown sandwich. If there's one sandwich that defines comfort, warmth, and indulgence, it's the hot brown sandwich. Originating in Louisville, Kentucky during the 1920s, the hot brown made its way into the hearts and stomachs of Americans in the 1950s, becoming a favorite for those craving something hearty and rich. A decadent, open-faced sandwich smothered in creamy Mornay sauce and broiled to golden perfection, the hot brown is a true symbol of post-war luxury. It takes all the elements of a satisfying meal, turkey, bacon, and cheese, and puts them together in a way that feels like a celebration every time you take a bite. In the 50s, diners and home cooks alike loved this dish for its elegance and its ability to transform leftover turkey into something special. After the Thanksgiving feast, when turkey seemed to linger in the fridge for days, the hot brown provided the perfect way to reinvent it. The combination of tender turkey, crispy bacon, and that rich, velvety sauce made this sandwich feel like an upgrade from the usual sandwich fare. It was perfect for a Sunday brunch, a holiday leftover lunch, or even a cozy weeknight dinner when you wanted something that made you feel like you were treating yourself. To make a hot brown sandwich, you'll start with a couple of thick slices of toasted white bread, the sturdy base for all the creamy goodness that follows. Layer sliced turkey on top, then add crispy bacon for that irresistible crunch. The star of the show is the Mornay sauce, a rich white sauce made with butter, flour, milk, and cheese. This sauce envelops everything in creamy, cheesy goodness, creating a beautiful base for the broiling process that gives the sandwich a golden, bubbly finish. Top your sandwich with a generous helping of Mornay sauce and broil it until the cheese is melted and bubbly, forming that delightful crust. You can even sprinkle a little paprika on top for color and a dash of flavor. The result is a sandwich that's pure comfort, tender turkey, crispy bacon, and a rich sauce that brings it all together in one bite. This is a sandwich that's more than just lunch. It's an experience in every bite. The Heartland corned beef and Swiss melt. When you think of classic American sandwiches, few can match the satisfying, savory goodness of the corned beef and Swiss melt. This warm, hearty sandwich was a regular feature in kitchens across America during the 1950s, offering the perfect balance of salty, tangy corned beef and rich, melty Swiss cheese. Whether served for lunch, dinner, or as a late-night snack, the corned beef and Swiss melt was as comforting as it was delicious, and it quickly became a staple for families looking for a quick yet satisfying meal. The beauty of the corned beef and Swiss melt lies in its simplicity. Corned beef, which was popular in delis and households alike, brought a depth of flavor to the sandwich, while the creamy Swiss cheese added a mild, nutty contrast. Paired with a couple of slices of hearty rye or marble bread and a little butter to crisp it up, the result was nothing short of irresistible. It was one of those sandwiches that hit the spot no matter how many times you had it. And in the 1950s, when convenience was key and families wanted a filling meal without too much fuss, this sandwich delivered every time. To make a corned beef and Swiss melt, you'll need a few basic ingredients: thinly sliced corned beef, slices of Swiss cheese, and 2 slices of rye or marble bread. The bread should be hearty enough to hold the fillings without getting soggy, but soft enough to toast up perfectly. A little butter is essential for getting that golden, crispy exterior while allowing the cheese to melt inside. If you want to take it up a notch, you can add a bit of mustard for tang, or even a few pickles on the side for extra crunch. Start by buttering the outside of the bread slices and layering your corned beef on one slice. Place a generous amount of Swiss cheese on top, then close the sandwich. Grill it on a skillet or griddle over medium heat, pressing it down slightly to ensure the cheese melts and the bread gets a nice golden brown. Once it's crispy on the outside and gooey on the inside, cut it in half and enjoy the satisfying crunch with every bite. It's the kind of sandwich that sticks with you long after the meal is done. The breakfast delight: bacon, egg, and cheese on toast. Few sandwiches can match the timeless appeal of a bacon, egg, and cheese on toast. This classic breakfast combination was a fixture in many 1950s homes where the family rushed to start their day, and a hearty, comforting meal was just the thing to fuel up for the busy hours ahead. In the 1950s, convenience and simplicity were key, and this sandwich delivered on both counts without sacrificing flavor. Whether enjoyed at the kitchen table or wrapped up in a napkin for a quick bite on the go, the bacon, egg, and cheese on toast was a favorite morning ritual. What makes this sandwich so appealing is its balance of textures and flavors. Crispy bacon, rich scrambled eggs, and melted cheese all nestle between 2 slices of golden, crispy toast. It's the perfect start to the day, savory, indulgent, and oh so satisfying. At a time when breakfast was often simple but needed to be substantial, this sandwich became the go-to option for busy families, providing a quick meal that kept everyone full until lunch. It also has that comforting, homemade feel, making it a go-to favorite for any time of day, not just breakfast. Making a bacon, egg, and cheese on toast is as easy as it sounds. You'll need a few basic ingredients: eggs, crispy bacon, cheese, American or cheddar works wonderfully, and of course, bread for the toast. The bread should be something sturdy enough to hold all the ingredients, but soft enough to get crisp without being too dry. A little butter or margarine on the toast adds extra flavor and helps it crisp to golden perfection. Start by cooking your bacon until it's nice and crispy, then set it aside. In the same pan, scramble your eggs until they're just set and creamy. While that's happening, toast your bread slices in the toaster or on a skillet, buttering them lightly as they toast. Once everything's ready, lay the crispy bacon on the toast. Top it with the scrambled eggs and add a slice of cheese. You can even melt the cheese by briefly broiling the sandwich to give it that gooey, melt-in-your-mouth texture. Serve it hot, and you have yourself the perfect sandwich that's sure to kickstart your day with a smile. The fancy pants salmon salad on croissant. The salmon salad on croissant was a sandwich that brought a touch of elegance to everyday lunches during the 1950s. While the 1950s were known for their easy-to-make, homey comfort foods, this dish was a nod to sophistication. Salmon, once considered a bit of a luxury, made its way into home kitchens in various forms, including canned salmon, which was both affordable and accessible. Paired with a buttery, flaky croissant and a zesty, creamy dressing, the salmon salad on croissant was the type of meal that made you feel like you were dining in style, even if you were just having lunch in the kitchen. This sandwich stood out for its elevated flavor profile. While tuna salad was the go-to for many, the addition of salmon introduced a richness that made the sandwich feel special, like it belonged at a chic luncheon rather than an ordinary family dinner. The buttery croissant, with its airy layers and slightly crispy exterior, provided a perfect balance to the richness of the salmon salad. If tuna was a weekday staple, the salmon salad on croissant was a weekend delight, a little more decadent, a little more refined, and undeniably delicious. To make a salmon salad on croissant, start with canned pink or red salmon, which was the most common variety found on grocery store shelves in the 50s. Drain the salmon and flake it with a fork. Then combine it with mayonnaise, a dollop of Dijon mustard for a slight tang, and a squeeze of lemon juice to brighten it up. Finely chop some celery, onion, and perhaps a few capers or pickles for extra crunch and flavor. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Next, slice open a freshly baked croissant, revealing its golden, flaky layers. Spread a generous amount of the salmon salad on one half of the croissant and close it gently, letting the buttery croissant embrace the rich, creamy salmon salad. For a little extra flair, you can garnish with fresh dill or a few slices of cucumber. Each bite is a perfect marriage of flaky, buttery croissant and creamy, flavorful salmon salad. This sandwich isn't just a meal, it's an experience. A little bit of 50s luxury at home, served on a soft, flaky croissant. The diner favorite meatball sub.
Meatballs in a sub sandwich, it's technically a hero. So it's a meatball hero. And this is one of the greatest sub sandwiches on the planet.
The meatball sub is one of those sandwiches that has stood the test of time, and for good reason. Hearty, satisfying, and loaded with rich flavors, it became a go-to diner classic in the 1950s. It's the kind of sandwich that feels like a warm embrace, with tender meatballs smothered in marinara sauce, gooey melted cheese, and a crusty sub roll that holds it all together. A true comfort food that carried a bit of Italian-American influence, the meatball sub was a hearty meal that could make any day feel special. If there's one sandwich that transports you to the corner diner, it's this one. In the 1950s, Italian-American cuisine was growing in popularity, thanks in part to the wave of Italian immigrants that had brought their rich food traditions with them. While spaghetti and pizza were already well-loved staples, the meatball sub made its own mark as a beloved sandwich option. This was a sandwich that offered everything you wanted in a meal: meat, sauce, cheese, and bread, all working together in perfect harmony. It's no wonder that the meatball sub became a lunchtime favorite at diners and a favorite homemade dish for families across the country. To make a meatball sub, you'll need to start with a good batch of homemade or store-bought meatballs. The meatballs themselves are typically made from ground beef, or a mixture of beef and pork, breadcrumbs, egg, garlic, and seasoning. They are cooked until golden and simmered in a rich marinara sauce, which gives them that signature, slightly sweet, tangy flavor. For the bread, a long, soft sub roll is essential. It should be sturdy enough to hold all those meatballs without falling apart, but soft enough to sink your teeth into without resistance. Once the meatballs are ready, place a few in your sub roll, spoon some marinara sauce over the top, and add a generous layer of shredded mozzarella cheese. Place the sandwich under the broiler until the cheese melts into a gooey, bubbly delight. The result is a sandwich that's equal parts messy and delicious, with each bite delivering a rich combination of savory meatballs, tangy sauce, and melty cheese. The cold comfort chicken salad with grapes on white bread. The chicken salad with grapes on white bread was one of the quintessential sandwiches of the 1950s, balancing creaminess, crunch, and a touch of sweetness in every bite. It's the kind of sandwich that feels both comforting and refreshing, a perfect choice for a light lunch or an afternoon tea. The 1950s saw an explosion of pre-made convenience foods, but chicken salad remained a beloved homemade dish. Served in many households and even at church picnics or gatherings, it was a meal that managed to feel both casual and sophisticated at the same time, especially with the addition of grapes. Chicken salad had been around for a while, but it was in the 50s that this dish really began to shine. Back then, families would often use leftover roast chicken to make the salad, blending it with a creamy dressing made of mayonnaise and adding any number of ingredients like celery, onions, or nuts. The real magic, however, came from the addition of grapes, those sweet, juicy morsels, bringing an unexpected yet delightful contrast to the savory chicken. This unique combination became a signature part of many 1950s lunch menus, offering a bit of luxury without being overly complicated. To make a chicken salad with grapes on white bread, you'll need cooked, shredded chicken, which can be from a rotisserie chicken or leftover roast chicken, mayonnaise, a small amount of mustard for tang, and a touch of lemon juice to brighten everything up. The key ingredient here is the grapes. Red or green grapes both work, but red grapes add a lovely burst of color. Slice them in half and mix them into the chicken salad, along with finely chopped celery for some crunch, and perhaps some sliced almonds or walnuts for added texture. For the bread, a soft, fresh slice of white bread is the classic choice. Light and airy, it lets the chicken salad take center stage. Spread the creamy chicken salad generously onto the bread and top it with another slice. For a little extra flair, you can cut the sandwich into triangles or serve it open-faced on a dainty plate. Each bite offers that perfect balance of rich, creamy chicken, the sweet pop of grapes, and the slight crunch of celery. A truly comforting yet fresh sandwich, that transports you straight back to the 50s. The elegant roast beef and asparagus sandwich. The roast beef and asparagus sandwich is the kind of meal that made the 1950s feel a little more refined, even in the most humble of kitchens. It's a sandwich that blends hearty and elegant with ease, turning a simple combination of roast beef and fresh asparagus into something that feels special. In an era where home cooking was still the heart of family life, this sandwich stood out for its sophistication. Whether enjoyed as a leisurely Sunday lunch or a standout dish at a family gathering, it was a sandwich that took the ordinary and turned it into something extraordinary. Roast beef was a common mainstay in the 50s, particularly after Sunday roasts, and it was often repurposed into sandwiches. But adding asparagus, a vegetable that was once considered a luxury food, added a level of class. Asparagus wasn't something you saw on every table, but it was a perfect way to elevate the flavor profile of a simple sandwich. The pairing of tender roast beef with the slight crunch of asparagus created a harmonious balance that felt luxurious without being overly complicated. And with a touch of mustard or horseradish sauce to bring it all together, this sandwich was both satisfying and refined. To make a roast beef and asparagus sandwich, you'll need a few slices of high-quality roast beef, preferably thinly sliced, so it melds perfectly with the other ingredients. Fresh asparagus is the star of the show here. You can either steam it or quickly blanch it to maintain its bright green color and crisp texture. The bread should be sturdy, such as a soft ciabatta roll or hearty whole wheat bread, which complements the rich roast beef and delicate asparagus without overpowering the flavors. A little bit of Dijon mustard or creamy horseradish sauce adds a spicy kick that contrasts nicely with the savory beef and fresh asparagus. To assemble, layer the roast beef on the bread, followed by a few stalks of asparagus. Add a thin smear of mustard or horseradish sauce, and close the sandwich. The result is a hearty yet elegant meal with the savory richness of the beef perfectly balanced by the fresh green asparagus and a touch of tangy heat. It's a sandwich that feels like a celebration, even if you're just having it for lunch. The Simple Joy Open-Faced Smoked Salmon Sandwich. There's something undeniably elegant about an open-faced smoked salmon sandwich. In the 1950s, when culinary trends were shifting toward convenience, yet still carried a sense of sophistication, smoked salmon became a popular delicacy. It's a dish that strikes a perfect balance between refinement and simplicity. With its delicate texture, slightly smoky flavor, and rich creaminess from the topping, this sandwich made people feel like they were indulging in something special, even on an ordinary weekday. In the 50s, smoked salmon was a treat reserved for more upscale gatherings or special occasions, but it found its way into home kitchens with increasing frequency. Its unique taste and luxurious appeal made it a perfect choice for a sandwich that could stand out without requiring a complicated preparation. Served open-faced, it allowed the ingredients to shine and created a visually striking meal. Whether as an appetizer for a gathering or a light lunch for one, the smoked salmon sandwich carried the kind of sophistication that could turn an everyday meal into an event. To make a smoked salmon sandwich, you'll need a few simple ingredients that come together beautifully. Start with good quality smoked salmon, which should be thinly sliced to allow its smoky, briny flavor to shine. For the bread, a hearty rye or dense whole grain bread works wonderfully, providing the perfect base for the rich salmon. Cream cheese, the quintessential spread for smoked salmon, is essential. It's creamy, tangy, and pairs perfectly with the delicate salmon, creating a rich base. A touch of fresh dill, lemon slices, and a few capers add extra layers of flavor, enhancing the sandwich's refreshing and luxurious quality. To assemble, spread a generous layer of cream cheese on your toasted bread, then layer the smoked salmon on top. Garnish with a few fresh sprigs of dill, a squeeze of lemon, and a couple of capers for a touch of briny pop. The open-faced style of the sandwich lets all the ingredients be seen and savored, and with each bite, you get a harmonious blend of creamy, smoky, and tangy flavors that make the sandwich feel indulgent but still simple. The cheerful tuna and sweet pickle sandwich. The tuna and sweet pickle sandwich is the kind of retro delight that brings an instant smile to your face. This was the sandwich of choice in the 1950s for busy families looking for something both simple and satisfying, yet still a little out of the ordinary. While tuna salad was already a staple in many households, the addition of sweet pickles gave it an unexpected twist. The sharp sweetness of the pickles beautifully complemented the creamy tuna, making every bite feel like a little burst of joy. It's one of those quirky combinations that perfectly sums up the post-war era's willingness to experiment with food and flavors. In the 1950s, Canned tuna was one of the most versatile ingredients in the pantry. Affordable, shelf-stable, and easy to prepare, it became a go-to for quick meals. Tuna salad was an obvious choice, but the creative addition of sweet pickles gave this sandwich its distinct character. Sweet pickles, with their crunchy texture and sugary bite, were a popular condiment at the time, adding a playful sweetness to the otherwise savory dish. Combining them with the smooth, creamy tuna salad created a satisfying contrast of flavors that people couldn't get enough of. To make a tuna and sweet pickle sandwich, you'll need a can of tuna, drained, mayonnaise, and a few finely chopped sweet pickles for that touch of sweetness and crunch. The mayo binds everything together, creating a creamy base, while the sweet pickles give the salad a surprising twist. A little mustard or a squeeze of lemon juice can enhance the flavor, making the salad tangy and lively. For the bread, soft white bread is the classic choice, but whole wheat or rye would also work well if you want a bit more texture. Begin by mixing the tuna with mayo, mustard, and a spoonful of chopped sweet pickles. Spread the mixture generously onto slices of bread, and for a fun touch, you can garnish with extra pickle slices on top. If you want to elevate it just a bit more, you can toast the sandwich lightly, creating a crisp contrast with the creamy filling. This is a sandwich that feels just as nostalgic as it is delicious. Simple, satisfying, and perfect for any time of day.
The twist on tradition, chicken and avocado sandwich.
The chicken and avocado sandwich was a delightful twist on the classic chicken salad sandwich that gained popularity in the 1950s. During this time, people were starting to experiment more with fresh ingredients and flavors, and avocados, though considered a bit exotic, began to make their way into kitchens across America. Combining tender, juicy chicken with the creamy, buttery texture of avocado created a fresh, satisfying sandwich that was a step above the ordinary. It became a symbol of the post-war era's growing desire for healthier, more exciting ingredients, all wrapped up in a simple, easy-to-make sandwich. While the 1950s were not yet the age of the superfood, avocado was starting to appear in salads and sandwiches, offering a rich, creamy element that added texture and flavor. Chicken, often roasted or left over from dinner, was another reliable ingredient that was transformed into a more sophisticated meal when paired with avocado. The chicken and avocado sandwich not only satisfied hunger, but it did so with a level of flair that made you feel like you were indulging in something special, even if you were just grabbing a quick lunch. To make a chicken and avocado sandwich, start with cooked chicken breast, preferably roasted or grilled, that's been thinly sliced. The creamy avocado should be ripe but firm, sliced generously to add that buttery richness to the sandwich. A bit of mayonnaise, mustard, or even a tangy vinaigrette dressing will add a bit of moisture and flavor to bind the ingredients together. A few crisp lettuce leaves and a couple of slices of tomato can bring brightness to the mix, complementing the richness of the chicken and avocado. For the bread, a thick, soft slice of white or whole wheat bread works beautifully, or even a toasted baguette if you want to add some crunch. Spread a little mayo or dressing on each slice, layer your chicken, avocado, and veggies, and then close the sandwich. The result is a creamy, savory, and satisfying bite, with the soft avocado and tender chicken working together to create the perfect balance of texture and flavor. The summer fresh tomato and basil sandwich. The tomato and basil sandwich is the kind of dish that brings the essence of summer to the table with every bite. In the 1950s, when fresh ingredients were becoming more widely available and home gardens flourished, this simple yet elegant sandwich became a popular choice for those looking to enjoy the vibrant flavors of the season. It's a sandwich that embraces simplicity, letting the natural sweetness of ripe tomatoes and the aromatic freshness of basil take center stage, with just a hint of creaminess to bring it all together. Though the 50s were known for their hearty, comfort-driven meals, this sandwich offered a refreshing contrast to the heavier dishes of the time. As people became more health-conscious and aware of fresh produce, this combination of ripe tomatoes and fragrant basil was an instant favorite. Served on soft, toasted bread with a generous spread of mayonnaise or butter, the tomato and basil sandwich became the epitome of a light, satisfying lunch or dinner that highlighted the joys of summer produce. To make a tomato and basil sandwich, you'll need a few simple ingredients, starting with fresh, ripe tomatoes. Look for ones that are in season, juicy, sweet, and full of flavor. Fresh basil leaves, fragrant and vibrant, add an herbal lift that elevates the sandwich to something truly special. A soft, sturdy bread is essential to hold everything together. A fresh loaf of white or whole wheat works perfectly. For added richness, spread a layer of mayonnaise, butter, or even cream cheese on the bread to complement the acidity of the tomatoes and enhance the sandwich's overall flavor. Begin by slicing your tomatoes into thick, juicy slices, then layer them generously on your bread. Add a handful of fresh basil leaves, arranging them artfully over the tomatoes. For a little extra flavor, a pinch of salt and a dash of pepper will bring out the natural sweetness of the tomatoes. Close the sandwich and, if desired, lightly toast it for a bit of crispiness on the outside. The result is a sandwich that's bright, fresh, and bursting with the flavors of summer, offering a perfect balance of tangy, creamy, and herbaceous. The cheerful pimento cheese sandwich. The pimento cheese sandwich is one of those nostalgic treats that has an unmistakable charm. A sandwich that makes you feel like you're sitting on the porch with a cold drink in hand, enjoying the warmth of a summer afternoon. A Southern classic that gained popularity throughout the United States during the 1950s, this sandwich became a symbol of comfort and simplicity. Pimento cheese, with its smooth, creamy texture and mild, tangy flavor, paired perfectly with soft bread, creating an easy-to-make yet indulgent meal that could be served at a picnic, in a lunchbox, or at a cozy family gathering. In the 1950s, pimento cheese was often served as a spread at parties, but it quickly made its way into sandwich form, where it became a lunchtime favorite. Its main ingredients, cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, and pimentos, are simple yet flavorful. It's a recipe born of pantry staples that feels unexpectedly luxurious when spread generously on soft white bread. For many, it wasn't just a sandwich. It was a tradition passed down through generations, a recipe that became a part of family memories and Southern hospitality. To make a pimento cheese sandwich, you'll need just a few key ingredients: sharp cheddar cheese, grated, mayonnaise, and pimentos, which are small, sweet, and mild red peppers. Some variations might add a dash of mustard, a pinch of garlic powder, or a few chopped green onions for extra depth. But the classic version keeps it simple. The cheese gives the spread its richness, while the mayonnaise adds creaminess and binds everything together. The pimentos lend a little sweetness and color, making the sandwich not only delicious, but visually appealing. Start by combining the grated cheddar, mayonnaise, and chopped pimentos in a bowl, mixing until everything is well combined. Spread a generous layer of the pimento cheese mixture onto slices of soft white or whole wheat bread. If you'd like, add a few extra pimentos on top for some extra flair. For a little twist, you can serve the sandwich open-faced or toast it lightly for a golden, crispy exterior. Each bite of the pimento cheese sandwich is a burst of creamy, tangy, and savory goodness that takes you back to the heart of 1950s comfort food. The homemade happiness Sloppy Joe. The Sloppy Joe is the quintessential comfort food that became a beloved family favorite in the 1950s. With its savory, tangy meat filling spilling over soft hamburger buns, this sandwich is both messy and delicious, a perfect reflection of the era's love for hearty, satisfying meals. The 1950s saw the rise of convenience foods, but the Sloppy Joe stood out as a dish that was made from scratch and filled with layers of flavor. It quickly became the go-to choice for busy weeknight dinners and casual gatherings, bringing families together around the dinner table. In the 1950s, the Sloppy Joe was an iconic American sandwich that could be found in homes across the country, made with ground beef, a tangy tomato-based sauce, and a few key spices. It wasn't just about filling your stomach. It was about the joy of biting into something warm, flavorful, and a little bit messy. While the basic concept of the Sloppy Joe had been around for decades, it was during the 50s that it truly found its place in mainstream American cuisine, with its easy preparation and ability to feed a crowd on a budget. To make a Sloppy Joe, you'll need ground beef as the base. The beef is browned in a skillet, creating a savory foundation for the rest of the ingredients. For the sauce, a combination of ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and a touch of brown sugar adds a sweet and tangy flavor that perfectly balances the richness of the beef. Onions and bell peppers are often added for texture and a little extra flavor. Some variations include a splash of vinegar for an extra kick, while others may add a pinch of chili powder or paprika for depth. Once the beef is cooked and the sauce is thickened into a rich, flavorful mixture, spoon it generously onto soft hamburger buns. The sandwich is often served hot, with the sauce slightly spilling over the sides, making it deliciously messy. Whether enjoyed with a side of crispy fries or eaten on its own, the Sloppy Joe is the epitome of homemade happiness, warm, comforting, and full of flavor. The comforting classic, egg and olive sandwich. The egg and olive sandwich is the kind of comfort food that feels like a warm hug on a plate. In the 1950s, this sandwich was a beloved staple, especially when you were looking for something quick, simple, and oh so satisfying. Made with hard-boiled eggs and the surprisingly delightful addition of olives, it was the sandwich that could be served at any time of day, lunch, dinner, or even as a light snack. Its creamy texture and savory flavor made it a perfect choice for the busy homemaker of the 50s who wanted a meal that was both easy to prepare and full of flavor. This sandwich is a product of the time when convenience and affordability were key, yet people still wanted their meals to feel homemade. Hard-boiled eggs were an inexpensive protein that could be kept on hand, and olives, particularly green olives with a touch of brine, added a unique contrast that elevated the dish. The richness of the eggs paired with the salty bite of the olives created a combination that was not only satisfying, but also a little unexpected. The simplicity of the sandwich made it a perfect fit for the era's busy kitchens, yet its layers of flavor made it special. To make an egg and olive sandwich, you'll need hard-boiled eggs and green olives, both finely chopped. The eggs provide the creamy base, while the olives add a sharp, salty contrast. The eggs are mashed and mixed with mayonnaise, a bit of mustard for tang, and some salt and pepper to taste. The olives are chopped finely and stirred in, lending their briny flavor to the creamy mixture. Some versions also included a bit of relish or chopped celery for added crunch. Spread the egg and olive mixture onto soft slices of white or whole wheat bread, creating a generous layer that fills the sandwich perfectly. It's an easy-to-make meal that packs a lot of flavor and comfort in every bite. For extra flair, you can garnish with a sprinkle of paprika or fresh herbs. The egg and olive sandwich is the embodiment of 1950s comfort food. Simple, satisfying, and always a little bit nostalgic. The everything's better with cheese, and pickle sandwich. The cheese and pickle sandwich is the kind of dish that might sound like a simple snack, but it's the kind of sandwich that's surprisingly addictive. A classic comfort food that found its way into many 1950s lunchboxes, it was a no-fuss meal that combined the creamy richness of cheese with the tangy crunch of pickles. It wasn't about fancy ingredients or complicated preparation. It was about bringing together two of the most beloved staples in the pantry, cheese and pickles, and creating something greater than the sum of its parts. The 1950s were a time when sandwiches were evolving into quick, easy meals that didn't require hours of preparation. Families were looking for meals that were filling, satisfying, and simple to make, and the cheese and pickle sandwich fit that bill perfectly. Cheese, a household favorite, added richness, while the pickles brought a refreshing, sharp contrast that made the sandwich pop. Whether enjoyed at lunch, as an afternoon snack, or even as a late-night bite, this sandwich was a versatile and beloved choice. To make a cheese and pickle sandwich, you don't need much. A good slice of sharp cheddar cheese works wonderfully, with its tangy, creamy flavor complementing the crispness of the pickles. For the pickles, dill or sweet pickles both make an excellent choice, depending on your preference for tang or sweetness. You'll also need 2 slices of soft white or whole wheat bread, spread lightly with butter or mayonnaise for extra richness. Begin by layering a couple of slices of cheese onto 1 slice of bread. Add a generous amount of sliced pickles on top. Don't skimp here, as the pickle flavor is essential. Close the sandwich and give it a quick press to meld everything together. For a little extra indulgence, you can toast the sandwich to add a crispy crunch to the exterior. The result is a simple, satisfying, and surprisingly delicious sandwich that's always there when you need a quick snack or meal.
The twist on tradition chicken and avocado sandwich.
The chicken and avocado sandwich is a refreshing take on the classic chicken salad sandwich, offering a creamy, savory twist that was perfect for the 1950s growing interest in fresh, flavorful ingredients. This sandwich combined the comfort of tender chicken with the smooth richness of avocado, creating a satisfying meal that felt both hearty and light. The avocado, though still somewhat exotic in the 50s, was starting to gain popularity for its buttery texture and mild flavor, making it an ideal pairing with the savory, juicy chicken. In the post-war era, there was a noticeable shift in the types of ingredients people were eager to try. As fresh fruits and vegetables began to find their way into everyday cooking, the creamy, rich avocado became a symbol of a more health-conscious and adventurous time. The chicken and avocado sandwich was an excellent way to enjoy both the wholesome comfort of chicken and the luxurious texture of avocado in one simple yet elevated dish. To make a chicken and avocado sandwich, start with cooked, shredded, or sliced chicken. Leftover roasted chicken works wonderfully. Then, slice a ripe avocado, creating generous pieces to layer onto the sandwich. The combination of creamy avocado and tender chicken is enhanced with a little mayonnaise, a squeeze of lemon juice, and a pinch of salt and pepper. For added crunch, you can include fresh lettuce and slices of tomato, creating a beautiful contrast with the rich avocado. Choose a soft, sturdy bread, such as a thick slice of whole wheat or sourdough, to hold the filling without becoming soggy. Spread a thin layer of mayonnaise on the bread before layering the chicken and avocado. You can serve the sandwich open-faced for a lighter bite, or close it up for a hearty, filling meal. The chicken and avocado sandwich is a perfect example of how simple ingredients, when paired thoughtfully, can create something memorable and delicious. The Summer Breeze Cucumber and Cream Cheese Sandwich. The cucumber and cream cheese sandwich is the epitome of simplicity and freshness, a beloved light bite that found its way into many kitchens during the 1950s. It's the kind of sandwich that feels cool and refreshing, especially on a warm afternoon. Crisp cucumber, smooth cream cheese, and soft bread come together to create a sandwich that's elegant yet effortless. Often served as part of a luncheon or afternoon tea, this sandwich offered a delicate and refreshing contrast to heavier, more filling meals, making it a favorite for those looking for something light yet satisfying. In the 50s, people were becoming more aware of the importance of fresh, wholesome ingredients, and the cucumber and cream cheese sandwich was a perfect way to showcase the season's best produce. Cucumbers, with their cool, crisp texture, were the ideal companion to cream creamy, tangy cream cheese, which added a rich balance to the sandwich. This combination was especially popular during the warmer months when gardens were bursting with fresh vegetables and everyone was looking for a snack that felt both indulgent and light. To make a cucumber and cream cheese sandwich, you'll need just a few simple ingredients: fresh cucumber, cream cheese, and soft white or whole wheat bread. Slice the cucumber thinly to ensure it lays neatly between the slices of bread. For the cream cheese, you can use plain or even add a little herb seasoning to elevate the flavor. Spread a generous layer of cream cheese on the bread, then layer the cucumber slices on top. You can sprinkle a little salt and pepper for seasoning or add fresh dill for an herby kick. This sandwich can be served open-faced for a daintier presentation or closed up for a more substantial bite. Either way, it's a refreshing and delicious treat that brings a taste of summer to any table, offering the perfect balance of crunch and creaminess with every bite. The picnic-perfect ham salad sandwich. The ham salad sandwich is a quintessential comfort food, especially popular in the 1950s. This classic sandwich, made from leftover ham, became a go-to for quick, satisfying meals, offering a creamy and savory filling that paired perfectly with soft bread. The beauty of this sandwich was in its simplicity and versatility. It combined tender ham with creamy mayonnaise, tangy mustard, and crunchy bits of celery or pickle relish, creating a delightful contrast of flavors and textures in every bite. To make a ham salad sandwich, start by finely chopping cooked ham. Mix it with mayonnaise, a touch of mustard, and finely chopped celery for crunch. Add a spoonful of pickle relish for sweetness and tang, then season with salt and pepper. Spread the ham salad generously on slices of white or whole wheat bread. For extra flavor, you can add lettuce or even a few slices of tomato. This sandwich was perfect for picnics, packed lunches, or quick dinners, offering a satisfying combination of creamy, crunchy, and savory goodness. It's a nostalgic dish that brings a taste of the past to any meal, easy to make, and always delicious. The surprise cream cheese and marmalade sandwich. The cream cheese and marmalade sandwich is one of those delightful, unexpected combinations that became a favorite in 1950s kitchens. Sweet, tangy marmalade paired with smooth, creamy cream cheese might sound unusual, but the result is a surprising treat that's both refreshing and indulgent. It's the kind of sandwich that feels like a fun twist on the everyday, offering a balance of sweet and savory that quickly became beloved. To make a cream cheese and marmalade sandwich, spread a thick layer of cream cheese onto slices of soft white bread. Then, add a generous spoonful of marmalade. Orange marmalade is the classic choice, but other fruit spreads work just as well. The cream cheese provides a rich, creamy base, while the marmalade adds a bright, fruity sweetness that contrasts beautifully. This sandwich was perfect for a light breakfast, afternoon snack, or even as a whimsical addition to a tea party. It was quick to make, satisfying, and offered something a little different from the usual offerings. While the combination may seem unconventional today, in the 1950s, it was a surprising delight, offering a taste of both nostalgia and novelty. Thanks for joining us on this nostalgic journey through 30 classic sandwiches of the 1950s. From the savory to the sweet, each bite tells a story of comfort, creativity, and simpler times. We hope these dishes inspired you to bring a little retro charm into your kitchen. Until next time, happy cooking.